Hi everyone, Kirsten from Happy Little Quilt Shop. Welcome to Wine and Whips. This week we're having champagne, and so I thought it was the perfect opportunity to show you here in my kitchen how to safely and properly open a bottle of champagne, and then we'll head down to the sewing room and do a little bit of sewing. I'm working on a couple different projects, one of which I had no business starting, but you know, are you really a quilter if you don't have 17,000 different projects going at once? It happens. So first things first is, as much as possible, you want to keep your finger up on top of the cork while you're doing basically everything. So I had easy peel foil on this one, so I have removed that. I've removed the wrap, and now I've removed the top of the foil. Now, all champagne, sparkling wine has this too, but all champagne is going to have this particular type of securing device on it. And it's called the cage. So you want to twist that open. Again, you're keeping your thumb or your pointer finger on top of this cork as much as possible. You can lift your finger a little bit, and as long as you don't feel that cork trying to come up against you, you want to carefully remove the cage and then put your finger right back over the top of that cork. Now, most people try and just pull this cork, and usually it ends up in a total disaster. What you actually want to do is switch hands here to your non-dominant hand and find some kind of bar rag, grasp the cork, and we're not going to twist the cork. We're going to twist the bottle very, very slowly and gently. We're twisting that bottle, and we should get just a little, you'll start to feel the resistance, and we should get just a tiny little pop. This is not some music video. There we go, tiny little pop. Our champagne's open. Da-da-da-da. So this week we are having a Andre Clouet French champagne. Real champagne only comes from the Champagne region of France. Often you will see things that are labeled very similar to champagne. You might see sparkling wine, or there's cava or cremant, all from different regions, but real champagne only comes from Champagne region in France. This one happens to be Brut. You'll see several different labels on your champagne. You might see dry, demi-sec, brut, extra dry, plethora of labels between champagne, cremant, cava, and sparkling wine. You'll see lots of different labels. Brut is on the drier side. I like a very dry champagne, and I actually haven't had this one before, so we're all trying something new together. The other thing that I thought I would show y'all is glasses. So this is a pretty standard champagne flute, more modern champagne flute. They look super cute. They look so classy when you're drinking out of them. I love a good champagne flute too, but the reality is, when you're trying to actually taste the wine, the champagne, you want a pretty standard wine glass. This is a universal wine glass, can be used for red or white. It has a nice open bowl to it, lots of surface area. So if we're fancy sipping, we might pour a little bit into our flute. Great for anniversaries, looks great at a dinner party, but you don't get a good taste of the champagne. If we want a good taste of it, we are going to pour it at an angle, nice and slow down the glass. We're going to wait for it to settle. Again, we do a second pour, nice and slow down that glass. And I like to have it, this is probably a 4.5, 5 ounce pour. I like it so that I can still get my nose in there, and I'm not going to get the carbonation right up my nose, but so that I can get a good sniff and have a nice glass. So let's dig in here. Oh, nice. Like I said, I've never had this one before. It was a recommendation from the wine shop. So I bought this from Red Wagon in Rochester. I believe they also have it at Plum Market, Whole Foods, and I know I've seen it one more. Maybe Total Wine is the other place that I've seen it. Depending on where you get it from, it should be anywhere between like $38 to $50. We don't drink champagne that often, so when we do, we want a nicer bottle. And I'm kind of trying to show you guys things that maybe I haven't tasted or things that you haven't experienced if you're a wine drinker. So champagne, depending on the level of dryness, which is determined by how much sugar is added in. Champagne is a very different process from typical winemaking, and that's how we end up with the carbonation. It's very, very particular amounts of sugar. So we've got a nice, similar to a Chardonnay, we've got some nice kind of buttery, bready, pear, apple, very similar notes to a Chardonnay or many Chardonnays. Nice. Let's have a taste. Very smooth, very light, has a nice bite at the end. The mark of what I say is a really good champagne is very, very fine bubbles. We don't want to feel like we're chugging a beer or a soda. You want nice, teeny, teeny, tiny, which one of these days we're going to figure out this camera so that you guys can see it. You want nice, tiny, tiny, tiny bubbles. Tiny, tiny, tiny fizz is the mark of a very good champagne. Yeah, excellent. Lots of apple. Green apple specifically, I would say. A little bit of pear. Nice, crisp bite at the end. Very easy drinking champagne. This would be excellent with some fish, or we are coming up on holiday season. If you're a caviar person, would be excellent with some caviar, a little creme fraiche. We are having just a little cheese plate for dinner, and this is going to be really excellent. And we had some sushi for lunch. Would be very, very good with that as well. This one is a lower alcohol champagne, 12%, which is perfect. I don't like a high alcohol wine. Really, really nice. Highly recommend. If you have any questions about the wine, drop them in the comments below, and I will see you in a few down in the sewing room. See y'all soon. Hi everyone. You'll notice I've had an outfit change. That is because this is being filmed many, many days later. Some things happen. I got behind on some things, and this just totally fell off the plate. I still would absolutely love to do wine and whips on some sort of regular basis. I think maybe it's going to be like twice a month, maybe not 4 or 5 times a month. I don't think it's going to be every week. I think that's just way too much on top of everything I do, but I think a couple times a month is going to be great. That also allows me to actually finish a bottle of wine because I just don't drink that much anymore. It's one of the reasons that I kind of like left the wine industry, is because I just don't really drink anymore. So drinking again has been weird. Nice, but weird. So let's talk about all the things I've been up to. Let's talk about some of the I have some things to show you. I have some things not to show you because they've already happened and they're gone and all of that. So first things first, I was part of a mini swap with Good Lovey Quilt Co., which was fabulous. Chloe is great. She organized a great swap. It was a Secret Santa swap, so you knew who you were sending everything to, and you knew like a little bit about them, but you don't know who you're going to get something back from. So she matched us like based on skill level and kind of similar styles. We had to fill out like a pretty decent questionnaire that like talked about the colors that we like and quilters that we like and patterns that we like and all of that good stuff. And we had to do like a little inspo board of things that we like. So I'm very curious to see what comes my way. If you pop over to my Instagram, you can see what I am sending out to my swap partner, who I can't reveal yet because we haven't like the official swap date hasn't passed. And I know she hasn't gotten it yet. So I don't want to ruin the surprise. But you can see that over on my Instagram. Let's talk about the other things that I've been up to. So there's this company called Baggu. They make really cute nylon bags. And I saw a bag on their website called the Bowler Bag. Adorable black and white nylon bag, kind of squat, long straps. It's like $60, might have been exactly $60. And I said, I can make that for way more money and countless hours of non-paid labor. I don't know what I was thinking, honestly. It was a really good way to exercise my brain, though. I have not been in the like pattern writing, designing space for a really, really long time, like years. And to be perfectly honest, I was not super good at it in the first place. I took lots of classes. I still take classes on pattern writing. It's something I'd like to do, but honestly, I just don't think I'm that good at it. And that's okay. We can't be great at everything. And there's a billion and one amazing pattern designers out there. But I looked at this bag and I was like, I gotta have this bag. I don't want to spend the $60. Also, I kind of wanted to make it out of like fabric that I wanted, even though the black and white is spot on. It's great. And I think they have like another cute little checked one right now. Adorable. So their bag was designed to have lots of charms hanging off of it. So it has like a bunch of extra hardware. I did not go for as much hardware, but here's the reveal. Here she is. This is my replica of the Baggu Bowler Bag. So things that I changed. I quilted it because I'm a quilter. I used Tula Pink fabric. This is, I think this one is called Beauty Mark. There's two different leopards. So this is the darker colorway of the leopard, which actually we just sold out at the store tonight, which is crazy. It went so fast, but it's still out there in the world from other places. So I quilted it, and basically what I did is they had the measurements, the like rough dimensions of the bag and like a description of it on their website. And I took those dimensions and what I know about bag making from by Annie and Sally Tomato and So Sweetness and just all of the other pattern makers and bag makers bags that I've made in the past. I took all that knowledge and applied it to this bag. So it's a pretty long squat bag. It has a gusset. All of it is quilted. I did a cute little zipper in my gusset with these adorable sassafras zipper pulls that look like paws because of the leopards, and it has really, really long straps. And then on the inside, it's basically just a huge open bag. It has like these side little guys in the gusset that keeps it from like totally being wide open. But for me, I like this and I don't like this. The thing that I like about it is I can see everything in my bag all in one go. So I'm using this as kind of a purse combination work bag situation. So I like that I open it, I can see everything, I can pretty quickly dig through and find things. And then I have bags within the bag. So this does have a pocket in the side that, of course, I put labels on. I did the Made in the Suburbs, the unicorn, because Tula. And then I put a funny little sweary sewing one in here. It says, if I had $1 for every time I swore while sewing, I'd be a fucking millionaire. And I thought that was funny on both accounts because it is both true, and this is a purse that occasionally holds money. So I thought it was like a funny little thing. Sometimes I crack myself up. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm actually funny. I did put a key tab in here, and you'll notice nothing is bound yet. And that is for a couple reasons. So reason number one is, like I mentioned, their bag was meant to have a boatload of charms hanging off of it. So they had like a whole bunch of extra hardware and straps. I have a little hardware tab with my carabiner, and this has already caught on something and ripped, which I had a pretty good suspicion that was going to happen. So I need to reinforce this, take this out, reinforce this. I need to take my straps out and reinforce them. And then I realized, as I've been using it for about the last, week or so here, that in the car, I go to grab it and I'm like, oh, these straps, okay, how am I going to, and then I end up like grabbing it like this, which reminds me of, I think it was like in Succession, there's that quote where he's like, what is that ludicrously capacious bag? Like, just this like monstrosity. What are you going to do with it? And that's how I feel like heaving it out of the car. So I think it needs a really small set of handles here. So I want to add and fix all of that before I bind the inside and it looks all really nice and pretty. But overall, I am impressed as heck with myself. So there were just the raw measurements on their website, and I took everything I knew. And if you go to Baggu and look up bowler bag, I have to say, I'm going to pat myself on the back here. I feel like this looks pretty close, with the exception that mine is quilted. So I am super impressed with myself. So now, you saw that this is a giant wide open bag. So let's talk about all the things that I made in conjunction with the big wide open bag. So this is a bag that I made a while ago. I think a lot of you have seen it. It is by Annie. It's called the Easy Does It. And it's kind of like a dop kit bag, but it fits great in here. And then it kind of acts as my like little, if I'm going to run into a store, choop. It's got my little, it's got my chapstick, my sunglasses, my meds, because I've reached that age. It's got a deck of cards. I always carry a deck of cards with me. This happens to be a brand new deck. My youngest sibling is obsessed with Hello Kitty, and I saw these at the drugstore for like, I don't know, $5. And so I got us both a set. Like, you never know when technology is going to fail on you. So have a deck of cards with you. Got my earbuds in here. What else is in here? Oh, so I don't know if any of you have ever played Animal Crossing. It's a game on the Nintendo Switch. This is Tom Nook. And I think he's a red panda or some kind of squirrel or something. I can't remember. They did actually say one time what he is. But this is like his little trading card. And in the game, he takes all of your money, like literally all of it. So I carry it around with me to remind me to not buy stupid things that I don't need. Do I still buy stupid things that I don't need? Absolutely. But he's in here. And then this is a bag. I believe this was from So Sweetness. And I keep the camera that I'm using to film in here. Surprise, surprise, I have fabric in here. I was short some yardage, and this is a quilt, mini quilt, that I'm finishing up for a blog post related to our Meadowbrook trip. let's talk about the bags that I specifically made knowing they were going to go into this bag. This little cutie. So this is like a modified version of the Hemingway pouch. This is a scrap that I had from my violet backpack. Made good use of the new Swery sewing labels. So the one inside the bag is from Kylie and the Machine from the Swery Sewist collection. This one is from Renaissance Ribbons, their brand new label collection that we just got in the store. And I think that one's called Swery Sayings, maybe. So I basically took what I knew about the Hemingway pouch and just educated guess that this would work. And it has, if I open it, cards and a little bit of cash. So I can grab this real quick if I'm just gonna like run in and grab coffee somewhere. So I made that, and that is fabulous. This is another Hemingway or Hemingway style. Again, I basically took what I knew, altered the dimensions. This could actually be even a little bit smaller. So I did this one to fit my Kindle. If my Kindle is in its like leather pouch case, or leather like folio case, it has like a thing that goes over the screen. It fits perfectly in here. If it's just on its own, which is what I originally intended, there's quite a bit, like a good, yeah, like that's the edge of it. It could be definitely length, like width-wise, it could probably be a ½ inch smaller. Lengthwise, it could probably be an inch smaller. But overall, incredibly pleased with this. And again, this is more scrap from my violet backpack. There was so much scrap from that backpack. And I really don't think I like overdid. I didn't add any yardage. I'm quite certain I went with the yardage she recommended for that backpack, and I had so much scrap. So I made those. I had made this little guy a while back from more scrap, and there's probably enough scrap to make a couple more of these from it. So much scrap. And then, because I had a bunch of scrap from my Baggu replica, I made this little cutie. And I basically used, oop, we got a stray thread there. I basically, again, just used my sort of general knowledge of bag making that I've learned over the years. This is probably pretty similar to the Biani Project Bags 2.0 with like a couple little changes. And I love this one because the way, I don't know if I can get this close enough, the way that it lines up, my little leopard's eyes are like peeking right over my zipper. Also, clear vinyl. 1, easy to clean. 2, I can see everything in here, which is fabulous for me. If I cannot see it, it does not exist. And of course, I had more labels. This is a Kylie and the Machine label. Used Tula Pink Sally Tomato zipper tape. Excellent. In fact, it's so excellent, I broke a couple needles. Not on this, but on... Where'd our little... Not this one either. I made another one that looks very similar to this that I used the Sally Tomato zipper tape on, and it's part of a gift that I'm giving, and it broke needles because the Sally Tomato zippers are that strong. So that's everything I've been up to. This has been great. I hope you learned lots of things about wine. I hope this inspires you to just go for it and make up patterns willy-nilly all on your own. And if you have any questions about anything that I've made, any of the pouches, my fun bag, drop them in the comments below. And I will see you all soon. Bye.